Today we're going to do a little something different. I'm not going to do 2 stories. It's going to be 1 story. And it's called The Bremen Town Musicians. And I'm going to do it with the puppets later. But right now, we have a special guest I know you have all been waiting to see for so long. Lucy. Lucy is back. She is here with us this morning to make a special appearance just for you because she misses you so much. And I know all of you miss her. We'd always visit when we went to Bible Story. And now we can't be in school together, but we're so glad that Lucy could come with Miss Jolie and still visit with you. So I'm going to ask Lucy some questions this morning before we go to our story about the Bremen Town Musicians. Old story from Germany. Been around a long time. And the man who wrote it was Hans Wilhelm. And it was his favorite story growing up as a child in Bremen, Germany. So Lucy, in this book, there were 4 little friends. There was a donkey, a little dog named Lucy. The donkey's name was Barnaby. And there was a little cat named Whiskers. And then there was a hen named Henrietta. And in this book, the dog looks a lot like you. Were you in this book? Did he write this story with you in it? No, you weren't born then, were you? I understand. Well, the dog, she really looks a lot like you. And Lucy, do you travel much? Have you ever been to Germany? No. All right. You know what? Miss Faye has, and it's a beautiful place. Maybe someday you and I could go back together with Miss Jolie. We make a trip to Germany. And Lucy, in here, everybody wanted to get rid of the animals when they got old. Do you think Miss Jolie would ever get rid of you because you're getting old? No. Of course not. She loves you with all her heart. You can grow old in your home and not have to worry like the animals in this book did. We want to ask you too, have you been well all this time? Yes? Oh, I'm so glad, Miss Jolie, and all your brothers and sisters at home. You've got 2 more sisters and 3 more brothers at home. And I know they'll all be excited when you come home today because we're going to have a special gift for you. Yes, we are. So 1 more question I need to ask you. In all this, when school starts again, which we know it will you come and visit us all the time when we go up to Bible Story? Oh, yes. I kind of figured you would. And the children will be so happy to see you. And I know you'll be happy to see them. You deserve a special treat because you are so special. Oh. Children, Lucy, I know, in her heart misses you so much. She always wagged her tail, never forgot us, and every time we go up, she'd be so happy to let you pet her. She'd be licking you. She just loves children. So we're going to give in our heartfelt wishes today, a heartfelt wish that we can all come back to school in the fall, Lucy, Miss Jolie, all our staff at church, and that we can see Lucy every week like we always did. Lucy, we love having you, and you can come see us anytime you want. So between now and the end of our time doing this. I want to invite her back again. Can you come back and see us again? Yes? Oh, she's licking me. That means yes. And we have a special gift for Lucy and all her brothers and sisters at home. It's a special bag of treats just for you and your brothers and sisters. Yeah, okay? So when you go home, we always know Lucy believes in kindness and sharing and caring. So we love having you. And if you want, you can sit there another minute because we're going to go to our puppet show here in a few minutes. But in the meantime, the story, I'll show you some of this real quick because in the story, some of the people weren't very nice. The donkey Barnaby, he had somebody that worked him very hard on a farm. And on that farm, the donkey started getting older and couldn't do all the work. And the farmer was going to get rid of him. Barnaby knew it, so he took off, heading for Bremen to be a musician. He thought he would go and play the guitar. Even though he never played a guitar, he thought, oh, maybe they'd still like me playing it, because he thought, you know, people just maybe like donkeys. And then the next one was the little dog named Lucy. Like you, yeah. And Lucy, she had an owner too, but the little dog didn't hunt anymore. Wouldn't hunt, got too old, did not have the energy. And so they were going to get rid of the dog too. And the little dog took off down the road on its own. And the donkey met it and said, let's be friends and we'll go to Bremen together. As they traveled, they ran into a cat. I bet you don't mind cats. You're kind to everybody. Cat's name was Whiskers. And the cat got old, didn't want to hunt mice anymore. And so they were going to take the cat and actually drown it. It was horrible. The cat knew, took off down the road, and met Barnaby and Lucy. And all three of them became friends, heading for Bremen to be musicians. The donkey was going to play the guitar. The little dog was going to play, Lucy was going to play the drums. And the cat, they said, Whiskers, you can be the singer. So they all agreed. Well, then the last one was a hen. And the little hen didn't lay eggs anymore. And they were going to get rid of her and make fried chicken. Well, no way was she going to be turned into fried chicken. She took off, met the other three, and they said, you can join us. You can also be a musician. And so they thought, you know what? You're not bad. Maybe you could be a singer with the cat. Let us know, when people are around, you could be like our clucker to let us know, like our guard little hen. So they all took off and they went through the woods. Lucy, it got dark and they were cold. And they decided, all right, we'll lay down here through the night. And they did. But when it was night still, they saw a light in the woods. And they thought, let's go see. It was a house. And they came to the house, and they all said, well, Barnaby, the donkey, you're the tallest. You go peep in the window and see who lives there. And he did. And it wasn't nice. The house was beautiful, but the two people inside were robbers. And they were just in there yelling and laughing about all the things they had stolen. And you know, Lucy, that's not right. No. So the little musician friends decided a plan. They would all go to the window and they would decide to make noises to scare the robbers. And when they did, the Barnaby, he went hee-haw, hee-haw, and then little Lucy went ah-woo, ah-woo, and Whiskers meow, meow, and then the hen went cluck, 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 and they bashed through the window and scared those old robbers away. Yet they took off running like crazy, scared, scared, scared into the woods. But they didn't stay there. Nope. When they were in the woods for a while, they decided one of them would go back and see whatever it was they thought was goblins. See if the goblins are still there. So one of them went back. He went in the house and he was tiptoeing, and all of them were asleep by then. But the cat, Whiskers, was laying by the fire, and he woke up and she looked and her eyes were glowing. And the robber thought, oh wow, and Whiskers went meow and jumped on him and scratched him. And then he went running, and Lucy was laying on a rug, and Lucy bit him on the leg. And then as he went out, the donkey butted him with his nose, and the hen jumped on him, quack, 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 just pecking at him, pecking at him, pecking at him. He took off running to meet his friend and told them all. Here's what he said. He said, in that house there's a witch. I felt her breath and she scratched me with her long nails. And by the door there stands a monster, and it stabbed me in the leg with a knife. And then there was a fierce giant who butted me and kicked me out of the house. And then there was something else that flew on me and pecked at me, and I thought I was going to die. Well, then the two robbers said, we're never going back to that house. That's too scary. So they left, took off, and never came back. Isn't that great, Lucy? Yeah. So the story ends with all the little friends. See, Lucy, you're there too. All the little friends ended up staying in the house together and living happily ever after. Well, I think, now Miss Faye thinks this book, and maybe they didn't know at the time, but I actually think that place was the first place called a retirement home, where people would go, sometimes even here when they get older, and they need care from each other, and they go and they live in a retirement community. And so that become our first place for people when they grow a certain age older. So isn't that the neatest story, Lucy? Yeah. Say, we don't have to worry about that. Children, I want you to tell Lucy, and we will hear you, just how much you love her and miss her. Can we hear you say to her, we love and miss you, Lucy? Let's listen. Lucy, listen with your ear. Okay, she's listening. Oh, we hear you. Isn't that great? Oh, children, thank you so much. Lucy thanks you. And we thank Miss Jolie for bringing her. And she will come back and see us again. In fact, I think she kind of likes it here. She's just laid back, just saying, you know what? No cares in the world. I feel great. So stay tuned. We will show you now the puppet story without having to read the story, but we'll go through it and see how much you remember. So right now, Lucy and I and the school and the staff at school will say, stay tuned. And Lucy will say, never goodbye, just see you later. Bye, Lucy.